Judge Kavanaugh's national TV interview, a first for a Supreme Court nominee, is part of a Republican counteroffensive designed to keep sexual misconduct allegations from derailing Kavanaugh's confirmation. The judge said he wants, quote, a fair process so that he can publicly defend his integrity, repeating the phrase 17 times in 25 minutes. He responded to the allegations one by one, starting with Dr. Christine Blasi Ford, who says Kavanaugh tried to rape her when the two were teenagers.
I've never had any sexual or physical activity with Dr. Ford, and the truth is I've never sexually assaulted anyone in high school or otherwise. I am not questioning and have not questioned that perhaps Dr. Ford at some point in her life was sexually assaulted by someone in some place. But what I know is I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
And then there was the allegation just made public over the weekend that Kavanaugh exposed himself to Deborah Ramirez while the two were classmates at Yale.
I never did any such thing. Never did any such thing. The other people alleged to be there don't recall any such thing. If such a thing had happened, it would have been the talk of campus. The women I knew in college and the men I knew in college says it's inconceivable that I could have done such a thing.
And there are some other accusations floating around out there alleging even more extreme forms of sexual misconduct. Kavanaugh said overall, they just can't possibly be true.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone. I did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter. And the girls from the schools I went to and I were friends.
So you're saying that through all these years that are in question, you were a virgin?
That's correct.
Never had sexual intercourse with anyone in high school?
Correct.
And through what years in college, since we're probing into your personal life here?
Many years after. I'll leave it at that.
Kavanaugh is hardly making his case alone. According to The Hill, the White House held a conference call Monday morning with administration officials vouching for Kavanaugh's character and urging surrogates to publicly defend him. The president himself called Kavanaugh on Monday to tell him privately that he still stood behind the nomination. And publicly, what you're hearing more and more over these last couple of days are Republicans, including the president, blaming Democrats for the allegations.
For people to come out of the woodwork from 36 years ago and 30 years ago and never mention it, all of a sudden it happens. In my opinion, it's totally political. It is totally political.
A smear campaign, pure and simple, aided and abetted by members of the United States Senate.
Well, it's amazing to me that these allegations come out of nowhere at the last minute. It's not untypical for our friends on the other side to pull that kind of crap.
It does seem as though the allegations from Deborah Ramirez, published in The New Yorker, represented a sort of tipping point, because before that, Republicans, including the president, had been careful to say that Kavanaugh's initial accuser, Dr. Ford, should be heard. But after Ramirez alleged some horrific behavior in college, the White House and the RNC began circulating emails challenging her story. Republicans like John Cornyn and Orrin Hatch essentially saying they don't buy any of it. The GOP leadership's scorched earth approach to Ramirez was in sharp contrast to Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley's correspondence with Christine Ford. After Ford complained about McConnell's sharp accusatory remarks, Grassley released a letter he'd sent to her that read, quote, I'm writing to say that I'm committed to a fair and respectful treatment of you. He signed it Chuck and added, P.S. I look forward to your testimony. We know that testimony is still set to take place this Thursday in front of Grassley's committee. But if it does happen, how much will it matter? On Monday, Majority Leader McConnell seemed to promise Kavanaugh would get a vote no matter what.
I want to make it perfectly clear, Mr. President. Judge Kavanaugh will be voted on here on the Senate floor. Up or down on the Senate floor. This fine nominee to the Supreme Court will receive a vote in this Senate in the near future.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.